Hello everyone, it is Bizarre Individual. I'm here with my coffee and a very late wrap-up. This is my wrap-up for March. I already have my wrap-up ready to go for April, and we're halfway through June. So I thought about not even filming this, but then I decided that I kind of wanted to film it for one, to keep up with everything that I read this year, and to kind of have a way of going back and, you know, seeing how many volumes and seeing what I thought of each series and seeing what was my favorite and stuff. And then two, I also kind of wanted to talk to you guys about what I read. So if you all have read any of these, I would love to hear your thoughts on them. If you liked them, you hated them, you know. So yeah, those are the two main reasons why I still want to do this, so I guess better late than never. So I decided that I was going to start doing my wrap-ups from least favorite to favorite, as I saw a lot of other people doing the wrap-ups and I really enjoyed it, but that's going to have to start next wrap-up, because I have a couple of volumes that I still need to discuss that I read after my wrap-up last time. That was at the end of February. So it just kind of makes more sense in my head to put these first. But yeah, I really enjoy that kind of style because it's like you're ending on the best note. So yeah, just thought I would throw that in there. But this I read in the end of February. I think I filmed my February wrap-up on the 27th. Thinking that I wouldn't complete anything else, but I finished 3 volumes, so yeah. So in a total, I read 10 volumes if you count Vineland Saga as 2, so I read 10 volumes in March, which is not a lot, but yeah. Anyways, so I finished Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost, Volume 3. I am really enjoying this story. I do have 4 now. I have not read it. It is actually in a box, but looking forward to reading it when I can. I think I'm probably just going to wait until the 5th volume comes out, but anything by Kiryo Yuki is just going to be a must for me. I've been following all of her works ever since I watched the OVA of Angel Sanctuary when I was 13, 14, and just fell in love with her beautiful gothic shoujo style. But this series in particular is obviously about Beauty and the Beast, like retelling, which I've noticed that this mangaka does a lot of retellings of fairy tales. So this one is obviously drawn beautifully like all of her works, but this one is very it's very bizarre. So it's pretty much about this chick named Bella that is trapped inside because her parents, or at least her dad, is ashamed of her and doesn't want the townspeople to see her because she has, I believe, different color hair than everyone else. And she, of course, ventures out into the woods where it's forbidden, because that is where the beast that steals women's faces is. And of course, Bella does not believe in this per se beast, and her mom goes after her to try to rescue her. And yeah, it is very bizarre. There's just very weird creatures and magic and this woman going around stealing faces, and it's just, I really enjoyed it. It's really kind of creepy and kind of I want to say episodic, but I don't know if that's the right word I want to use. It's just very, like, you don't really know what's going on. Just so much is going on at once, and people aren't who they seem to be. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars, and yeah. Okay, so lastly, in February, I finished off with reading What Did You Eat Yesterday by Fumi Yoshinaga. I read volumes 3 and volumes 4. I was really glad that I got to sneak these in at the end of the month, as it is for a challenge that I'm doing, a Buzzword Readathon by Books and Lala. She is doing a prompt each month, and I made this manga work for that prompt. But yeah, so anyways, What Did You Eat Yesterday was definitely such an enjoyable read. I can't believe I haven't read much more of it, as it is, I think it's on volume 18 now, either 17 or 18, but yeah, it's definitely up in numbers, and I could definitely see it being intimidating, and I've seen some people say that they're intimidated to start it because of the length, but I definitely would recommend just starting it, and all the volumes now are back in print, as volume 9 was going for a lot, but I believe it is Gredansha or Vertical. Let's see. Yeah, Vertical reprinted it. But yeah, so What Did You Eat Yesterday is about these two men that are in a relationship with each other. Sorry about mispronouncing names, but I'm just really bad at it. So Shiro right here is a lawyer, and he also in his free time really enjoys to cook, and he's an excellent cook, and he likes to make recipes, and he is very frugal with his money, even though he is a little bit more wealthy being a lawyer, and he's more uptight and a lot and more cares about what society thinks of him as a person, and he worries about his job finding out that he is a homosexual, and worries about what they will think. And then on the other hand, his partner Kenji over there is more of a free spirit. He's a hairdresser, he's really artsy, and he's just more free-spirited. So opposites definitely attract, but it's just pretty much about them living together, and they're pretty much married, but of course it's illegal to get married officially if you're same sex, as I believe when this was printed it was illegal in the United States, where I'm from as well, at that time. But yeah, so anyways, this is just them kind of living their life, enjoying each other's company. Kenji is enjoying his partner's meals that he cooks for him every single night, and it's just a beautiful slice of life. Them struggling with society, looking down on them, and yeah, it's just a really good time. And each volume has like short stories, and it goes like day by day, and then also you see the recipes in there as well. They have a lot of recipes, so that part can definitely get repetitive, but I really enjoy it, and I definitely want to try some of the recipes. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and I highly recommend this series. It was just so good, and just so entertaining, and just so wholesome, and it's just a beautiful way to look inside of a couple's life, and them pretty much just enjoying each other. And yeah, I highly recommend it. I think I gave both of them, it's kind of hard. It's like I want to give it 5 stars, but with the recipes, like if there was maybe 1 recipe in each volume, then it would be okay, but like there's like 10 in each volume, probably about 5 or 6, but it does kind of get repetitive. But regardless, I really enjoy this series and really recommend it. And the next 2 titles I remember receiving the 1st of February, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted to read first, so I brought both of them with me, and this is just a little random rant, but bear with me. So I always wanted to be that type of person that goes out of my element and goes and like sits in a cafe and reads. Don't know why, but I just kind of wanted to get out of my comfort zone this year, so my goal was to go get a coffee and read a manga once a month in like a cafe setting or a different setting. So I brought both of these with me to read, and I made it to the parking lot of Starbucks and I sat there, rolled down my window and read. So it is definitely a different setting, so I accomplished that. My anxiety just kicked in and I could not go inside. So yeah, I couldn't make it that far in my comfort zone, but I guess I'm taking it as a win. With saying that, I haven't attempted it again and it's June, so maybe I need to make a second trip. But anyways, back to the manga. I read Our Not So Lonely Planet Travels Guide by Mon Shirai? And this is my new favorite BL of 2022. This came out, I believe, at the end of 2021, and I have been just loving this concept, this manga, it's really funny how I always say that I'm not a big slice of life person. Slice of life is not my favorite genre, but the last two have been slice of life, and a lot like What Did You Eat Yesterday? Yeah, these couples kind of remind me of each other. This one is easygoing, and this one over here is more reserved and more serious. And yeah, so hold on one second so I don't get the names mixed up. So yeah, so him right here, Mr. Azaki, is more reserved and more not open, a lot like, and they both have like blackish hair, a lot like this, and worries about what society thinks of them, and is not open, and kind of acts more straightish and more quiet, like in an environment that they're not comfortable with, knowing that they don't know how others are going to react to them being a couple. And then over here, Mitsuki is more outgoing and doesn't really care that much about society. And so the premise of this is they're a couple, and they agree that once they travel around the whole entire world and see all the sights and visit all the places and see the culture and stuff, then once they travel around the world, then they're going to come back and get married, but they have to first travel around the world. So it is just their adventures of going to different places, staying at different places, meeting new people, and learning the culture. It shows them like eating different types of food. It shows them sightseeing at different places. It shows how the different people of that country act, and it is just such a fun time, and I absolutely love it. And then it's also them getting to know each other even better, because they're put in a different situations along the way, and it is just so cute and wonderful and wholesome, and I just love it so much. I cannot wait until volume 3 comes out. And yeah, I'm just really glad that Tokyo Pop is printing all these wonderful BLs that I'm really enjoying. But yeah. Okay, moving along with this BL train. Always surprised. Nope. I read so much BL this month. Seaside Strangers by Kai Kana. I read volumes 1, which took me quite a long time to get my hands on as it went out of stock super fast. But I think I got volume 2 first, which is kind of funny. And then I think I ordered them at the same time. And then volume 2, I am really enjoying this story and need to definitely look when volume 3 comes out. But it's pretty much about this guy named Shun, and his family kind of disowns him, which I'll talk about when I get into me talking about volume 2. But at the first of this manga, you learn that his family disowns him, so he moved to an island with his aunt, as his aunt is in a same-sex relationship as well, so they're kind of like the black sheep of the family. They kind of relate to each other, so I kind of really liked their dynamic and their relationship a lot. And one day, this boy on the island that he meets, named Mayo, and he just kind of comes in and he's all kind of a little bit mysterious, and you learn that he lost his parents and he has no one, and they kind of form, you kind of get like the tension and feelings, but they don't kind of act upon it. They're just kind of like talking to each other. And then one day Mayo says, "Hey, I have to leave." And 3 years in the future, Mayo comes back to tell Shun that he's thought about him this whole entire time and that he has feelings for him. And so he comes back randomly and goes, "Hey, I have feelings for you." And Shun doesn't know how to react, as I think. He's kind of still like, "Well, you left, you're late to leave again, so I don't want to get hurt." And then he's also dealing with another story about dealing with homophobia and how his family rejected him because he was actually supposed to be getting married, and then that's when his family found out that he was into men, is he turned down his proposal. And then so pretty much they decide to go visit their father, because I believe that their father, I think it's their father, bear with me because like I said, I read this in February and it is June, and I literally forgot everything that I read in June anyways already, so my memory is really bad. But I think his father, he finds out that his father is sick, so he wants to kind of go back and kind of see what's going on. And I don't really know if he's up for making like amends, but he definitely knows that he needs to go visit his family. And this kind of hit home for me. It was so relatable. In volume 2, you learn that, at least in my opinion, I'm trying not to go like too dark, but in my opinion, I don't feel like his family more or less just owned him. It's more of he doesn't accept himself, and he didn't really give time to explain to his family. And I don't know if people are going to come for me for saying that, but like, I didn't feel like his family was that disowning and that pushing away, as I've had people in my family that literally disowned me and kicked me out. So I don't feel that, but maybe at the time, or maybe I feel more like he felt like an outcast, so then he kind of left, and it was more of his insecurities. But his family is definitely not 100% open to him being that into the same sex. But anyways, so yeah. So anyways, let me know down below like what you guys thought of this. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad that I actually read the backs before filming this, because it kind of jotted my memory. And now I'm like really excited to continue the series, as I kind of forgot what this was kind of about, to be honest with you. But I'm definitely going to have to at least skim through it before the next volume, like when I get the third volume. Yeah, anyways, this was really good. I did really enjoy it. It kind of pissed me off in some certain places, but other than that, it's a really cute story and I recommend it. And Love of Kill by Fei Fu, Volume 6. I'm going to briefly tell you the synopsis of this, as I've already read Volume 7 of this recording, and I about started telling you my thoughts on Volume 7, and I was like, wait a minute, this is Volume 6. Like, I'm very confused, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing wrap up for 3 months ago. So anyways, Love of Kill is a josei action series that I highly enjoy, highly recommend. I did not think I was going to enjoy it. Like, of course I was interested and I eventually wanted to give this title a chance, but with every title coming out I kind of put it off, and I was actually reading it for a manga club that I'm in. So I read Volume 1 and absolutely fell in love and had to go out and get all the other volumes at the time, and now I'm just staying up to date and I'm reading these as soon as they come in, as soon as I can find them in my stores. I know Volume 7 I couldn't wait for, so I had to order it on Amazon because it wasn't in my store yet. But anyways, in Volume 6 you get a lot of their backstory, as you can tell by how much black is in here. Like, all that is backstory. But yeah, it is pretty much about these two, I guess you could call them like bounty hunter assassins, and they team up together to kind of stay protected as the same big mob guy is coming after them. I am going to attempt to pronounce their names, but bear with me as I'm just starting to try to be more professional and say names, as you can tell by the previous mangas that I've shown. Chatoru and Raygon Ha. And you just kind of see them kind of flirting back and forth and their adventures up to this point. And the first 5 volumes are them just kind of either being chased or them, it kind of has so many like questions. You get a lot of like questions, and then in this volume you see their backstory, and then you have even more questions. But I will leave it at that and save my thoughts for Volume 7 in my April's wrap-up. Next, I read this really fun 3-volume series, Bad Boys Happy Home, story by Shura and art by Kiro Masha Okujama. It is a 3-volume series by Sublime, and just look at these covers. You can just tell that they're fun. Like, and here is Volume 2. And Volume 3. But yes, this is about this guy named Kakamatsu, and he is a bad boy delinquent type that is going through adolescence, that has a lot of built up frustration, and he takes it out by fighting people. So he meets this guy named Seven in the park and finds out that he's homeless, and says that he can come live with him as long as he kind of quenches his urge to fight, and they get to fight each other whenever he wants. So that is kind of the premise, and it was just so much fun, and I really enjoyed this series. I ate all 3 volumes up in like 2 sittings. I would have finished it all in one, but I brought like them to work with me, so which I probably shouldn't have done. But yes, this does have, it's just so charming and cute and sweet that you kind of forget about the mature theme of it. And it's just, yeah, it definitely has mature themes, but it is just, once again, another wholesome story. And then dealing with family and not accepting their sexuality, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I will say in volume 3 was my least favorite volume. I did enjoy the ending, but there was just a part in here that wasn't realistic to me at all, so it just kind of took away from the overall enjoyment of it. But I will definitely give this a high 4 if not a 4 stars. So yeah, I really enjoyed it and I really recommend it. Okay, finishing off with the Yaoi BL, Twittering Birds Never Fly by Yonda. And this one I'm very scared to talk about, as it is very loved in the BL Yaoi community. And honestly, I'll just get it out there. I couldn't get into this. I'll just start with saying that. I read Nights by her quite a while ago and couldn't really get into that one either, and didn't really enjoy her storytelling, but I definitely wanted to give this one a try, as it is a really hyped up yaoi title that everyone is talking about, everyone is obsessed with. Granted, a lot of people, when they say that this is not for everyone, I guess I'm the only other everyone that everyone's talking about, because everyone seems to really like this one. I am definitely going to give this one another chance when I'm not reading so many different things, and to kind of maybe print off like a character list, because I'm getting a little bit confused, print off like a plot of what's going on. I've noticed that when I do that, it definitely helps me understand, and who knows, this one might become one of my favorites. Like, it wasn't bad, I wouldn't say that, but my enjoyment of it, I gave it a 2. It is pretty much about this guy named Yashiro, that he is a president and the lead boss of kind of his gang, or his business, his mafia, you would say. And he hires a bodyguard named Chikura, and pretty much he is definitely scandalous, and he sleeps with all of his encounters, but he says that he's never going to fall in love, and he claims that he doesn't sleep with his employers or employee, and turns out that he likes to I wouldn't say pleasure, likes to give a blowjob to his bodyguard, which and his bodyguard, due to trauma in his past, can't get an erection, and so he just kind of likes to, I don't know. This one I was lost on. I do like 2 of the side characters a lot more than what's going on here. And then they're introduced in the first couple chapters, and then you just kind of see them throughout. Like many, I've read up to volume 4 now. But I definitely want to like this one, and I definitely want to give this one another chance. It just is not for me right now, but I don't worry. For fans of this, I will definitely go back to it. And I was also kind of having one of my coworkers that has read this explain it to me as I was reading it too. So I think it's more of a me thing of not comprehending what the hell is going on than the actual story. But the artwork is stunning and beautiful. And yeah, I definitely want to give it another chance, and I will update you guys on that one when I do. And final thing that I read for the month of March was Vineland Saga Book 1 by Moto Yoka. I'm trying, guys. But this is a 2-in-1, so for my reading goals, just to be easy on myself this year, I'm counting it as 2 volumes, as it is in 2 volumes in Japanese. But I read this for the Treat Yourself Manga Club, and a little bit of a backstory. I attempted to read this 2 other times, and I could not get into it at all. I was very confused, and I did read it for a readathon about 6 years ago whenever the first volume came out, and I really wanted to enjoy this one. This was so hyped, as it is still hyped, but it was so hyped when it was first coming out and everyone was enjoying it, and I just didn't see the excitement of it at all. Kind of like I want to give Twittering Birds Never Fly another chance, because this time reading it, I don't know what did it for me, but I got so enthralled in the story. I understood everything that was going on, and I absolutely loved this. I cannot wait to continue it. I wanted to continue it this month, but I'm doing a buddy read, and then I started Doro. So after I finish those, and after Pride Month, because I'm only going to read BLs for Pride, I am going to continue this series. Actually, never mind, I'm not, because it's packed in a box. But as soon as I get this unpacked, I forgot about that, I'm going to stop at volume 1 again and just binge it and get the last couple volumes that I need. Yeah, so if you're all wondering, which you're probably not, why I have so many volumes and I didn't enjoy this, I bought these all on sale for like buy 2 get 1 free, or they were I found them for $10 each. So I got like, I think 9 volumes. I had 9 volumes of this, maybe 10. I think 9 volumes of this, and I got every single one of them for around $10 each. So pretty good. But yeah, I know that a lot of people were complaining about, like, not complaining, but like concerned and not picking these up because of the pricing of them. But if you think about it, they're 2-in-1s, and so that's 2 volumes right there, and they're retailed at $19.99, so $20, so that's only $10 a volume, and then you pretty much get a nice hardcover. So it's actually quite a very good, reasonable deal if you think of the prices of other mangas that are like $13 to $15 for just 1 volume and not a hardcover. So anyways, sorry, I've ranted so much in this video, but see, I can't even remember what I was saying. But anyways, so reading this again, I absolutely loved it. It is about this guy named Thorfinn and him growing up and him living on his village, and you know, they have to live off of the land and planting stuff, and then them dealing with winter. This manga is definitely compared to Game of Thrones a lot, and I 100% see that. Pretty much one day he finds out that his father is this old famous like warrior and can kill a whole bunch of people. When growing up, he just views his father as like a really hard worker farmer, and then his father gets summoned to go fight in a battle, and yeah, then his father goes off, and that is all I'm going to say. And let's just say this is a awesome revenge story of him, and I'm so looking forward to finding out what happens next. I so wish my volumes were not in a box. As I'm talking about it right now, I really want to go and read it. But anyways, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Sorry that this was so late, but I wanted to get it out, and let me know if you guys read anything down below, and please don't come for me since I didn't enjoy Twittering Birds Never Fly. But anyways, I will talk to you guys in the next video.